Hey guys, Dante here, and welcome back to my channel, The Web with Art, and welcome to another edition of Sunday Night Art Stream. As my ear gets bombarded with notifications. We're about 16 minutes in, bit of a late start. We were hoping, we being myself and my friend Joe from Katorius Rex, we were hoping to do a split screen. Because he told me he did a rendition of this same character using the old potbelly stove, which was my original idea, thinking of using a potbelly stove. Because this comes out more like a safe than it does like the old timey like actual big square stove, but it works either way. So when he told me he was doing a potbelly version of it, we tried to get him online, but due to connection issues on his side, we couldn't get him. But he might join us in the chat. Speaking of which, trying to see if I could do a test over here. There we go. Test. Doing a test chat real quick. Alright, so we're good. So we are going to pick up where we left off on this lovely lady. These are our inks and it's locked. Yeah, basic shades of this black and gray for her clothes, cloth, and just random skin tone colors. And then maybe purplish flames, maybe, I don't know. Let's work on the skin. I frankly have no idea what I'm going to do for the skin. I want it to be burnt and glowing. The first time trying it out. There he is. There's the man in the chat. Hey, dude. So we're going to jump in here and see what we can pull off. Let's see what we have here. Damn, like my machine is just going crazy with updates. I gotta take Facebook off of that. There you go, color pencil. There's my color pencil. So when I did the inks with heavy cracks in between. These kind of scaly bits, if you would. I might overlay the inks to have glowing coming out from between the cracks. I'm not sure yet. So I'm gonna do this in which the flames are basically there's light on top, heavy shadow on the bottom. That's the idea. Let's see how well that goes. So once again, I'm using the color pencil. I like the texture on the color pencil. let me see. Let's do a layer. Just to see how it looks like. Let's do a layer above the inks. I'm going to use this orange. There's this thing called Rio pencil. That's like much more broken up. I wonder how that looks. Just like as if it's coming out the cracks on top of the inks. Has like a crackly feel. Then I could probably go darker with these browns. So let's lean into this for a minute. Yes, you have a mix of beneath and on top of the ink as well. A little bit of like vibrant yellow. Get that glowing. Is that pastel? How's the pastel look? It's too thick. What about pastel? Yeah. Like it's smoking off of it. Yeah. I like that a bit more. I've always struggled with that effect of like a glowing effect, because you know, getting the glow just right over other colors without, you know, bleeding all the colors together to look nasty. Like I've always had trouble with that. So let me see. Alright, so we're gonna call this overlay for now. That's the layer called overlay. Let's go back into the regular skin layer. And let's darken these browns, especially at the points where, like, let's make these like a nice blackened color. Once again, let's go into our pencils. Color the pencil. just get darker and darker. Build up those shadows. Yeah, they will do some blending to help the yellow blend in better as well. But I think that's what I'm looking for, like that heavy dark, the heavy difference. And we can always add much more highlights as we go to really make it look like embers burning in there. So Joe, I want to ask you, for whatever reason, the Flintstone comic, which apparently came out a few years ago, is making its rounds on the internet again. People are just talking about it again, for for whatever reason maybe. Did you ever read that? That like kind of semi-satirical, semi-like commentary comic? Because the pages people have been uploading are like really interesting pages. Yeah, I think I've seen images of the Jetsons. I saw what they did with Scooby Doo. I didn't like. I didn't like the concept they did with Scooby Doo. It just, I don't know. The Scooby Doo comic they did just didn't gel with me. I don't know why. But I think I've seen images of the Jetsons though. great line from the Flintstone one, where the narration is when a scam is big enough that everyone has to do it, it's called economics. And it's a scene where Fred is telling the tax collector, "What do you mean rent's gone up? I just got a raise." And the tax collector goes, "Well, that's why we're raising your rent, because you just got a raise." You know, out of any DC character to show up, I think Booster Gold is the best choice for that. There's also a great line where someone's like, "Fred, why do you wear a tie to work every day?" And he says, "I once read, don't dress for the job you have, dress for the job you want." And the guy goes, "Well, how long have you had that tie?" And Fred goes, "Like 7 years." Like, there's some like people just been uploading their favorite pages from that comic, and it's not satirical, it's commentary. It's satirical in that it's making fun of society, but not making fun of the show. It's not, you know, I hate when someone's like, "Oh, they made a," you know, when they bring a show back, but they kind of insult it as they bring it back, and it's like, are you fans of the show or not? Like, there's a balance. But in this, it's more satirical about society, because the whole idea is that caveman in society is new to them. Kind of how Jim Henson did with the show Dinosaurs. And there's a great, like, really deep moment where Fred is saying, like, what is marriage? Is marriage like insurance? Am I married to Wilma because I'm afraid if I'm not married, she'll find someone better? Is it just my way of keeping her with me? Like, basically he questions, like, he loves her, but he questions, like, does she love him back? And is marriage keeping her back? And it's like this really sweet thing. I mean, it's a really deep thing that then gets picked up later on as something very sweet. When he realizes, you know, my wife loves me. And that's what it comes down to. My wife. Marriage, you know, my marriage, being married to her isn't keeping her back. It's like being married to her allows me to see how she sees me through her eyes. It's a really deep thing, a really deep and sweet moment where, like, Fred realizes, you know, just how much he freaking loves his wife and how much, like, she means to him. Oh, screw Vandal Savage. Hope we get stuck beneath a rock in that series. Freaking hate Vandal Savage. He's such an annoying God. I know Young Justice has been doing a lot with the character, but I freaking hate Vandal Savage. Once again, using the cause there's colored pencil and real pencil. Real pencil has like a more pixelated kind of grit to it, if that makes sense. So it's good for like these really good speckled pieces. For like these like charcoal, like burnt pieces, I'm using the real pencil. Maybe I will blend it a little bit more later, but for now, I like this roughness. Like I usually start with like a solid rough color, and then smooth it out later. So this works well. At least for this part. At least for the part that's like meant to look like it's cracking and breaking. Now let's extend some of this color now. So this is where the two colors, the yellow and the brown, and now I'm going to dip in between and just pluck the colors in between that to do this continuous shading. now I'm taking the color pencil and working it in conjunction with the more pixelated real pencil. Just kind of blend it in, like smudging it now. Like it's burnt charcoal, then it's smudged charcoal, like. Making it a little bit blacker and darker, but it's still, because color pencil, it's not going completely black yet. It's just merging together with what's here. It's blending. It's blending. That's what it is. Just taking mechanical pen, the G pen as they call it on this, and now just doing some tight edging. Kind of like an early cleanup, if that makes sense. Like she's glowing, but also at the parts where it's really cracked, it's just coming out like bright color. Let me go back to the overlay, see what else I can do in here. Use straight, like a nice bright yellow, and the G pen. Those little highlights, little bits of highlights here and there. Among the like staticky, crackling bits. Just gonna switch my secondary over to Picardo. Nope, not that. Come on now, Picardo. Just want to see if anyone's up and about over there. Let me refresh that. Anything new? Anything new in the chat? What's going on? No. Not that I can see. Okay, back to regular Twitch. Alright. I am not going to touch the flames just yet. But for now, with the exception of the foot, still such a good freaking foot. For now, we're going to hold back on. You know what? Let me tighten the skin up. Let me actually just erase some edges so I can see what it looks like so far. Skin, bigger eraser, please. Just get an idea. You know what? I just realized what I'm doing. Flames should be above the skin, and then from there I'll work on the flames. But for now, let's get that safe. Let's do the safe. See, I'm calling it a safe now. It's a stove. Let's get the stove done. Switch up to the cloth layer. Something's wrong with the ink there. Oh, yeah, I see you. So you can sneak out on me, didn't you? Realize I had my filter on the whole time. Let me back up now that I can see everything. Alright, that does look nice. I had my blue filter on. Everything was a little dull. That's a nice glowing color. Not that I can see it. Jeez. Ah, so stupid, Dante. Now this is metal, but it's a black, like dull metal, so it won't have like the cool reflections on it. Some little mix on how I'm gonna color this thing. Flames on either side, so the flame. This will be lit up on this side. I guess it's all really centered. Like all the color, all the darkness should be centered. Where's my reference? I know I had a reference for this. Open. Doesn't help too much. I get the general idea. treating these safe with just like solid colors, just like solid. Even not all metal is solid like this. Not all metal has like a perfect. Not all metals have like this perfect sheen across it. But for now, I'm just gonna go with that idea. Once we get the flame color like sorted out, I'll probably do some reflections of the flame in the face. Just because I want to. Nope, that is not the. I want like an olive green, like a dull green. There we go. Why is it green? I don't know. Ecto Cooler. You make up a reason. I don't know. So I imagine, right? You have a group of people. They walk into an old home, and there's rumors of ghosts and unhinged spirits ever since one of the maids died in a fire accident where the kitchen just burst into flames. So they walk in, and it's just the remains of like burnt wood that has been, charcoaled and burnt to a cinder, but is now soaking wet from rain and abandonment. It's just a rundown, like barely standing kitchen area of just soot and rain that comes together to make mud. And strange enough, the only thing still standing is let me see if you guys can see it, is one of these old time furnaces, right? Rather, old time what's it called? Stoves, right? This like block stove, and then like the stove itself begins to creak and bend, kind of the car Christine, like where the metal begins to bend, and kind of in the way of The Grudge or The Ring, to be more precise. The way the evil spirit from The Ring crawls out of the TV, like one of these two slots just suddenly begins to slide out as a solid brick, which is not, because these are doors. It's a door to a hollow area, but in this case, it begins to slide out like a solid brick, and it's just it's our character here crawling out of the stove, and like what was a door is now a cage on her head as she crawls out and just sets, like the rain itself begins to like evaporate, and you realize that she's basically like this cursed spirit that's like bound to the location, because she's literally bound to this freaking piece of iron. And that's how I imagine like that's what this is. It's like the stove has like created a cage on her face, and then she crawls out of it like the girl from The Ring, and just everything around her just bursts into flames, and she is this glowing ember like entity. I like that. It's simplified, but I like it. Now, do we go to the clothes or do we go to the flames? Let's try the flames. The flames are purple. They seem kind of fun. Let's try the flames right now. Let's fill in all our gaps first with a base color of this purple. Kind of gives like a chemical fire feel to it. Like it shouldn't be burning that color, but it does. Technically, it should also be above the cloth layer. There we go. Okay, so there's that. You do a quick search, get an idea of fire. If that's the base color, right? That's maybe how dark it goes. Fire! Everything else just get lighter and lighter and lighter until it like kind of glows a little bit. Trying to figure out if the lighter colors are on the edges or glowing from the center. On the edges. A little bit on the edges, kind of fades to the center. Like the tips are always like a little hot. Depends on how it burns, I guess. But in this case, the tips are touching the air. So let's do a few highlights. Highlights. Let's do a few highlights. So as per usual, we'll start with some flat colors and then see what's the best way to actually like blend it, if at all, or just keep it like this. There's also the fact that I could probably, once I clean it, I could probably put this above the ink layer and have it like a nice like glowing effect. Fly in my house. I see you. Not a fly. It's like a little fruit gnat or something chewing away at my houseplants. So yeah, if I take away the inks, those inks have to be cleaned up for sure. Or, and I know the way to do it, I just always forget how. I could sequester, that's the right word, the inks I have and tint the ink color itself. I always forget how you do that. Each program does it differently. So, case in point, let's first do a little erasure. And let's see if I can do what I'm thinking of. There's different ways of doing it. I know there are. I just always forget how every time. Because I like the line work. And if I can incorporate the line work as a color right on top of this layer, right above the ink layer, as opposed to getting rid of the line work and having to clean up all the colors to make up for it. That'd be much, much better. What the hell is that? I got something on my screen here. What are you? Goodbye. That was weird. Got like a little pop-up thing, and I have no idea what it was. So, as I just pluck away, erasing this area right now. News. So, I recorded some commercial footage, advertising footage, just to advertise once again a few of my products, such as my card game of Tolls and Trolls, available now on thegamecrafter.com, of Tolls and Trolls. But yeah, so I recorded some footage for that. I recorded some footage regarding the first print, I guess demo print of my game Ascending Assassins. Demo as in like I'm printing it out in small copies and sharing it with friends and game enthusiasts to get opinions on it. So there's Of Tolls and Trolls, which is for sale. Ascending Assassins, which is near completion and just about ready to go on sale. I also have I'm also continuing my work on Thunderhead. So Thunderhead is another card game that I'm slowly developing as well, or rather I'm revamping based on some old not let's plays, but on some old test plays I did. So that's another card game I'm really proud of. Hopefully that will grow to something bigger. So there's 3 card games coming up. So keep an eye on that. Ranging from family card, they're all like family friendly pretty much. Some of them are based on chance, some of them are like strategy. So that's something I'm working on. Always working on side projects in the background as well, such as Bottled Spirits, which once again, Joe, if you can, type in the name you suggested. So Joe also suggested another name. I like Bottled Spirits, but once again, suggestions are always freaking good because it is a dual project. We're both just tossing stuff into the pot right now to see how well this project comes out. Yeah, Joe, type it in the chat because I once again have forgotten what it's called. The name you suggested. We're also working with an associate of mine. I want to say Creature Crosby, but it's not. Give me a second. Yeah, Creature Crosby. Creature Crosby over on Instagram. Check out his page. It's really cool, like black and white, just basic, like gritty looking ink drawings. I really like them. We are working on a few projects. One is a short film he's developing, and another one is a monster manual. That's all I'm gonna say about it, cause I don't want to spill the beans just yet. So yes, lots of projects dealing with ghosts and goblins and ghouls and games, in that order. Why is the tip of your finger not colored? The tip of your finger should be colored, my dear. I'll go back to the skin layer and fix that later. He says before completely forgetting about it. Once again, I just want to clean up. I want to clean this up and get an idea. I'll get an idea what I'm working with here. Let me jump over to the skin layer real quick. That's you. That's you, and that's you. Okay, so ink layer, unlock. Wand, no, not wand. Lasso. Okay. So we're working on this ink layer, right? Just for the hand, just for the arm. I am gonna see if I can remember how to like adjust colors. I'm gonna be tones and curves because it's black. When it's black, there are no tones and curves. Green. No, it's not that. Shoot. You know what I could do? Could do that, and then invert. Just invert the selected area, which is now the inks. And let's say we make them white. And then just what the hell just happened? Back. Oh, that's why. Forward. Okay. Out. I have to correct that. It's fine. Right. Okay, there's some spots here that got over selected, not what I want to do. Or, do I want to keep the fingers white? No, I'll just delete this and let the other layer kick back in. I just want the outside of the flame. I don't want the fingers to be screwed up. I'm sure there's a smarter way of doing this, but... So essentially what I did was, I made a layer which is just these inks, selected everything but the inks, and then inverted them. Because then when I turn the original ink layer back on, it'll fill in, it'll bring these all back together. It'll bring the fingers back and everything. So, right? Right? Am I right? There's original ink layer, yep. Okay, and deselect. Let's back out for a minute. Little choppy. Yeah, okay, still got that little edge of black that's there. Some of never as clean as you want it. Never as clean as you want it. It was an idea. Gonna save that layer but lock it. It was an idea. File and save. Okay, let's go back to the fire. And let's repeat the same thing on this side, just the highlights. Then maybe I will put some darker tones in the fire. What's going on? Sorry, just trying to get a window open. There she blows. Okay, sorry. Oh. Can you feel it? Okay. Flames it is. Flames on the side of my head. This also gives us a chance to add extra flames within the flames, like this. Little swirls of light. I'm feeling tired. Don't know why. Definitely have enough sleep. Got up at a nice relaxing hour this morning. But I do want to finish this, so we're gonna keep going. We're gonna go as far as I can, baby. Now, to be honest, these flames are just the same flames on the opposite hand, just kind of flipped around and slightly altered. So I did think about just copy and pasting the other hand, but I'm like, you know what? No, let me do it. Let me draw it again. Let me put these flames in. That way, there's like you can see there's a variety. There's a difference from one flame to the next. Here it is. There we go. Put little highlights on the fingertips to show that the flames are coming off them. Just to some extent, you know. Once again, all the flames right now are just solid colors. So if and when I blend them together, I'm not too sure what, how am I gonna blend the flames to make more like flames? They need to be really smooth, almost like more like water, ironically, or like smoky in a way, but not a gritty kind of smoke. And like these brighter purples contrast well against like the darker parts of the skin. The parts that are meant to be like charcoal and all burnt up. Now, I don't know if I should blame my lack of digital shading or my actual lack of just knowing how to do textures when it comes to coloring fire versus skin versus cloth versus burnt skin. Need a snack. Need a snack. Is that right? I got a message in Twitch. Let me refresh that. The more I look at it, the more happy I am with the way the safe came out. Just basic flat colors like that. So I'm thinking, do I find out how happy I am with keeping the inks of the fire around the fire, which usually you wouldn't do that. Like you wouldn't have black lines around like, an energy source, fire, electricity, etc. But until I figure that out, I might add a little bit of darker tones like randomly within the flame to show the difference in the heat. I switched over to Twitch for a minute on my desktop as opposed to my secondary device. And I was seeing who else is streaming tonight. And there's a number of people streaming who are people that I follow who draw very, very attractive female figures ranging from fan art to just original characters. And I realized there's a reason why not many people are following me Saturday night. Because those guys are sucking up all the fans. I'm joking, of course, you know. I freaking love... I love, like, seeing other artists work, you know. A small part of it digs up jealousy, but then that jealousy, at least for me, quickly switches over to like, oh, I gotta start working again. Like, it's a weird inspiration. Not to like beat them at their game, but more like, man, this stuff is so good. I haven't drawn in a while. I should draw a bit more, and that's kind of where like it just evolves for me. So you see right there, that spot right beneath my cursor, where it's just that's a nice color. Like, just doing that without the ink, I might do that then. Right? Because when you look at examples of fire, two things happen. Either one is black smoke and the fire is highlighted, or it's fire and it gives off a glow around it. A lower glow, but a glow nonetheless. I'm working with the fire because I like the color. It's a nice purplish color, but I also just don't want to go into the outfit at the moment. It's just gray tones. It's just a gray outfit, kind of boring. That's the wrong way. Come on, out. There we go. So, I'm taking another week off from work, which means this week I will be diving back into the tutorial of making a donut in Blender. Because I got halfway through the tutorial, then had to sidestep because I was just busy with work, and I'm gonna go back in there and get it done just to say I've done it. And it's funny because I just saw a tweet that was like, donut tutorial, then it has like 16 other steps to like becoming a Blender user, and I'm like, screw you, man. When you get that donut done, you are happy. You gotta start. You have to start somewhere. Yeah, now let's have some fun. I'm going to go. Let me grab that color purple. Let's go into. Let's do overlay just to be safe. Okay, so I'm in the overlay layer just in case, and I'm going to add. Some highlights of that purple in the metal. Yeah, I like that. God, why am I so sleepy? Yes, yeah, might as well clean the skin up while we're here. Why can't I find it? There it is. Clean up that skin. Get rid of that ghostly acne. Make sure you get the booba. Get that curve around the booba. Oh, by the way, for those of you who do not know, DeviantArt has opened the floodgates. Underneath strict rules, in certain circumstances, they are now allowing adult work. Not mature work like pin-ups and nudes and tasteful nudes like that. They are allowing non-photograph adult work. And only certain people can view it. Like, you have to have a subscription to do it, upload it, and to view it. And in some cases, you can also put it behind a paywall. So only certain people view it. But yes, they have opened the floodgates. And they've done it in a very, clean way. They're like, listen, unless you're paying for this account, you cannot upload pornographic work. Which is good because most people who are, younger with a free account won't be able to view it then. You know, if you're 13 years old, you're not paying $100 every so often to be on DeviantArt. But yeah, DeviantArt has opened the floodgates, but in a restricted kind of way, which I kind of respect. And it's gonna just bring in all kinds of people finally saying, finally, I could upload my comic of, I don't know, Mickey Mouse or whatever. My adult Mickey Mouse comic. Guarantee you it's out there somewhere. Guarantee you someone has done it. Yas, queen, yas. See how choppy it is? Because I was just coloring the flames within the inks. We do that. Put that on top. That's no fun. You know what? I'm going to rename this layer. I'm on the layer that's the flame overlay. We are going to delete. We're going to delete. We're going to erase this flame overlay. And not right now, but I'm going to keep that layer on the side for now. And maybe I'll have a layer just for inking over the flames. For now, we're gonna lock it. Now, working from the top up, so let's do the smoke. So since we're already up here, up on top, let's do the smoke. Debating if I should leave that finger like in the flames like that. You know what? Yeah, let's do that. Hold on. First things first. First things first. Let's put the thumb, because the thumb is further back in the picture. Let's put that in the flame. Yeah, like that way it's more like she's in the fire. There you go. That does it better. File save. Save! Save, save, save. Once again, make sure you have all of this filled in. Now we're dealing with smoke now. Obviously, denser and darker in the center. But now I wouldn't use marker. Pastel might be nice. If chalk, how's chalk look? Chalk has a texture. Chalk. Then we have charcoal. Crayon. Crayon might work. Let me zoom in a bit, see what I'm looking at. Chalk is too thick. Charcoal is actually kind of light. works out. I'm not gonna try and do glowing smoke. That's too much for me. And they have a thing called noise, which is just too pixely. What is design pencil? Oh no, it's one of those angled ones. I don't like that. I don't like the angled brushes. Too annoying. We have basic pastel, which is nice. Let's go for pastel. Let's get out a nice big brush and try some pastel. I actually like using pastel a lot. I haven't done it in a while, but I like using it. Right, so we're gonna go for the center pieces. It's like in between is nice and dark. We'll go back and once again we're working backwards here. So we'll do the smudging now, then I'll clean up the edges between the bumps. Back and forth, Dante. Back and forth, like actual freaking pastel. Because here, you notice I was like doing like the edges and the crevices, but it's not just the crevices; it's the center. The center mass is what's actually very, very dark. Shoulder's hurting me. Which means I'm doing something wrong. Grayer color. Look on the outside of that. That's looking good. I had to get away from thinking, oh, I'm just doing the little nooks and crannies. I'm not. It's the center. The center mass is dark. It's just from the center go lighter and lighter. Pastel, how I miss you. Even digitally, I missed you. I think I mentioned this last time. There's a difference in how smoke burns. Like white smoke versus black smoke. It's you could tell what kind of fire is happening based on the literal like color of the smoke. Can we go a little bit light? Can we go a little bit smaller with the brush and get darker? Yeah, and then work on some dark areas. What you doing? Keep it large. Keep it large. That way it's still fluffy. Too small, and the brush begins to narrow itself out. Oh yeah, I like how this is coming out. Maybe I should use the charcoal more often for just general coloring. The crayon has a nice, the color pencil has a nice texture, but the charcoal, I think the charcoal just looks like it blends better. Okay, now I will shrink it. I'm gonna clean the edges. I think I just lost my nav window. Got it. There she is. Because every cloud has a silver lining. So, not a morbid story, because technically these guys were being paid to do it. They were just doing it without a license. I heard a story once about, so it was a gentleman. He wasn't alive in World War II, but it was some kind of service he did, something where he remembers where they had to get rid of bodies during like wartime. It was an older gentleman. It wasn't World War II. And he calls the police. There's an actual event that happened years back, and I heard about it through a news article. It was really interesting. So he calls the police and he says someone is burning bodies, and the police are like, excuse me, and there's some old guys, and they're like, it's, they could just be burning weird wood, and he goes, no, it's not wood. They're not burning animal flesh. I know the smell of human bodies because I served in this platoon, and there was a moment where they were disposing bodies. Maybe it was World War II. I don't know. But he calls the cops, and what it was that a group of guys were essentially burning bodies in groups. They were being paid as if they were morticians, but I think they didn't have the actual license to do it there. So they were just using some not up to standard furnace for cremating the bodies, which is a no-no. There's actual standards as to how you dispose of a body, even if you're being paid to legally, if you're being legally paid to burn it, you have to have the legal papers to where you're burning it and how you're burning it, under what machinery you're using, what kind of not stove, but what kind of furnace you're using. So he actually called, and they were and they investigated, and yeah, there's a bunch of guys. They were just saving tons of money, putting it in their pockets by essentially doing the job, but doing the job incorrectly. And it was all because of this old military guy who was he was having flashbacks. He was like, I know that smell. There's a distinct smell of it's not animal flesh. It's not wood, it's not trees, it's not the smell of metal burning or a house burning down. There's a smell that human bodies make, and this is that smell. And they arrested the guys. And because they're being cheap assholes. People are spending so much money to make sure that their loved ones are being taken care of. I guess in this case, I don't want to say. What's the word I'm thinking of? Not being taken care of. Not being exterminated because they're already dead. But I guess that their remains are being handled properly. And these guys were just doing it the cheap way. They were not using an actual proper furnace. They were probably burning more than one body at once, which is a no-no. And yeah, this old man was like, I know what's going on here. Guy probably has medals from whatever war he was in because he remembers shit. So it's not a morbid story because they were burning bodies that were supposed to be burning. They were just doing it incorrectly. What's morbid is the fact that this poor old guy wakes up one day going, oh God, it's happening again. Yeah, it wasn't World War II. The gentleman wasn't old enough for World War II, but it was something that he remembers the smell of bodies. Maybe he was just some medical emergency bodies, when he was across seas or whatever like that. He was an older gentleman. Maybe Korean War or something. Breeze! Hello, thank you very much for the compliment. Let me back up a little bit so you can see it. So we're doing thank you for joining in. We're basically doing bizarre ghosts. Have you ever seen the movie 13 Ghosts, where each ghost is basically warped and twisted based on how they died? This is kind of what this is. It's a old English maid who died in a fire because of those big square stoves. So this isn't a safe. It's actually that's the opening door of those old timey 1800 stoves, which has now become essentially a safe around her head. So we got the smoke, we got the skin tone pretty much down. I'm really happy with the coloring of the safe. It keeps going to the safe now because my friend called it a safe. Of the stove, I'm happy with the stove. Fire could use a little work in terms of color tones, and then we gotta do all the gray tones and black tones that make up her dress, because all they ever wore was black and white dresses. But yes, thank you for joining us, Breezy. Speaking of which, let me once again switch over to my Picardo tab and see if anyone's commenting on that. the hiccups. Nope, no one there. Alright, back to the Twitch. I hate when I do that. I do a constant movement of the pen, and then when I mess up something, I have to, undo, and it undoes everything, not just a little spot. Sometimes you gotta lift that pen up to give the computer a moment to like reset. Otherwise, you do all this work, and then you mess up one little thing, and you hit undo, and it erases everything you just did. So I got into the habit of doing the, color the background rather than just drawing on a white page, because now when I erase stuff, you can see all the little micro lines that you miss, the little micro pixel lines. So yeah, having a colored background definitely helps. I've seen people do that with just skin tones. Like they'll just put a base skin tone of like whatever suits them. It might be purple, and somehow they'll work that into the color, into the final colors. Just realized it's gonna be 10:30 soon. I turned off my alarm because I knew we're gonna go hard with this picture. Turn off the inks. Ooh, look at that smoke without the ink. The smoke was kind of cool, kind of chunky, but I'd rather leave the inks on that. You know what? Let's see. Let's go for a dark purple. We're going to do a few little, just like we did the highlights, just how we did the highlights, we're going to do a few dark purple lines here and there. Kind of give the flame depth, like it's burning at different levels. Also helps break up the shape as well. Always double check you're on the right layer, people, just in case. There we go. Yeah, there's a few spots of like that darker purple. Hey Marigold, thank you again. Good to see you. Yeah, it does look a lot better with a little bit of that dark purple in there. Nice. Ah, what am I doing? Where are you? Cloth. You see that? I started filling in the cloth layer while on the flame layer, which is not what I meant to do. I meant to actually switch over to that layer. Cloth layer. Now we're working on that layer. I want to say now we're cooking with gas, but given the topic of this picture, I don't know if that's a nice thing to say. Site select. Alright, a little bit of a darker tone to work with. Drop in some flats. It is a long one. It is still the wrong one. I'm in pencil, that's why. Pen. So you need to remember we are still working with downward light. Light coming from the top, like it's glowing from her face downwards, so everything at the lower level is going to be shadows below us. Shadows straight down below us. I think those little shines I did on the clouds. I'll go back to them. But those little shines need to also be kind of graded into it. That's what's giving it too much of a plastic look, in my opinion. Brush density. What happens if I drop the brush density down? Okay, that's that. I bring it back up. Nah. add a bit more of a mid-tone on this. Now I'm working on a grayscale within the red, like the red color. So even though these are meant to be like black dresses, um, I'm actually adding a bit more of like a red tone to it, like reddish gray. I don't know if you guys can even see it, to be honest. I'm essentially being very sloppy right here with this, just to spread this all out. I'm just trying desperately to spread this out. That looks better. When I'm done with the main figure here, part of me wants to also do like, try and do like embers in the air, but I don't know if I could pull that off. Oh, it's quick and to the point. Okay, yeah, that works. And then before I keep going, was it beneath cloth as well? No. Was it beneath flames? Wasn't skin. It is cloth. It is in the cloth. How did I not know that? I do wanna fix what I did here. Pastel. Pastel. Just wanna blend these little highlights a bit better. Cause when they're too smooth, it makes the clouds look like plastic. So they're gonna keep the highlights, just gotta fix the edges. Yeah, I think that's better. Okay, a little better. Let's get that foot. We did all the skin except the foot. Skin colors, there we go. There you go. No need to go crazy. The foot doesn't have like the burn marks and everything. There we go. Let's take a look at her for a minute. Let's back it up for a minute. It's looking good. Like, I'm really happy with the color tones on this so far. I mean, I can nitpick to the day I die, but as of right now, it's looking damn good. Let's get the dress out the way. Do one more eraser cleanup, and then from then on, any like updates, might be something later on. Like any little, you know, bells and whistles and whatnot. Okay, so this dress is in the gray tones, but it's in the bluish gray tones. I say dress, it's actually the apron. So let's drop in some, once again, you drop in your base shades, flat colors, flat shades. Because she's walking forward with this one foot, so it's folding right here. Part of me thinks maybe I should tatter the bottom of the apron. The top part's already blown off. Maybe I should just tatter the bottom part as well. Notice the wider you go with the larger you go with the brush, the more grain texture, graininess you get. Let's use the pastel for the highlight. That way it keeps this grainy, it'll keep a bit of a grainy texture to it. So pastel mixed with the color pencil. That does work very well. Yeah, using the pastel and the color pencil. Just with the two slightly different textures, they work well together. There we go. Oh yeah. It's like really blotchy. I like it. Put a little bit randomly to break up this the dress pattern. Keep saying dress. Apron to break up the apron. Essentially, I'm just doing random strokes to like smudge it all together. You know, which is what pastels are for. Does look good. Does look good. Okay, I'm just gonna right now drop some quick strokes of like a much darker color. Just to help the contrast a little bit more. Yes. And let's do a quick cleanup. Okay, let's do a cleanup and see where we stand. I think for the most part we are done. It's about 11 o'clock now. I think for the most part we are done with this. Aside from maybe a few tweaks. Now that I look at it, maybe I want to, like I said, tear up the bottom half of her apron. Still iffy about leaving black lines around the fire. But if it works for now, it works for now. I think color pencil, the charcoal and color pencil, not charcoal, pastel, the pastel and color pencil blend I think those look very nice together. Like flat color, a little bit of color pencil for because of the start of the graininess, and then using pastel to really bring in that green and like blend it together well. Speaking of which, pastel. Where was I? Nope. A little bit small brush. A little bit right there. A little bit of dark area right here. Get the edge. Now you don't see her back foot because of the apron, which does make it look a little weird in hindsight, but I think it does look good. It does look good, man. Look at that. Pen's not working. There we go. Let me center it better for you guys. Woo. Yeah. I like it, man. I like it. I like it a lot. Let me zoom in a bit from that beautiful foot. Can you see that well? Yeah, okay, good. I think using purple and using a purple grayscale for the safe to differ against like the reddish grayscale and the bluish grayscale, like I think it really helps. We're gonna keep pointing at a safe now because of freaking Joe. Thanks, Joe. I think it does look very nice. So if I take away the inks, yeah, you know, we're gonna leave the inks in the fire for now. We're doing little things like having some of the fingers engulfed in the flames, showing it that they're in the flame. It's like growing out of her. Let me see. So that's how she looks without the overlay. So without the overlay, it's just dark. With the overlay, she has these like glowing bits coming out of her. Just for the heck of it. But first, lock that layer. Let's make a new layer real quick. I don't think she'd come up the staircase. Nah. Yeah, just to give a sense of like, where is she standing? What is she on? Like doing this basic, like, little simple ass freaking little, like, lines like this. And last but not least, first things first. Label that as back for now. I think we're good, guys. I could always go back to it and do a little tweak here and there, but I think overall, we're good here. I am happy with this. If I could get it to zoom in at just the right angle, just the right amount to show you guys. Is that a good amount? She's a bit low on the ground. Bring it over here. Bring it over here. And there she is. This is the Fire Maid, or Fire Maiden, if you wish. A poor, unfortunate soul who's cursed to forever walk the earth ablaze. And yeah, this was good. This was good. I don't know if I'm gonna do more ghostly characters next week or the week after that. We've done 4 sessions, one back to back, one last week, one this week. 4 sessions of Bottled Spirits, the work between myself and Cretorius Rex. Check out Cretorius Rex on Instagram. You would not be disappointed. And hopefully he could get his computer up and running properly, and we could do a dual stream. I want to do a dual stream with him. He wants to do a stream as well. He's just struggling with his computer at the moment. But yeah, and I want to say that is it. Big thank you to Marigold for dropping by. Breeze, or is it Breezy? Breeze 837. Thank you very much for dropping by. A reminder to everyone, all of these are saved on Twitch for about like a week or 2. I forget the exact time basis. I know it's at least a week. But all of all of my previous streams are saved on YouTube. So you can find my YouTube streams, and you can find edited videos as well. Check out my toy design videos. I have been releasing a lot of toy design videos about characters created by other artists and by myself, so definitely check those out. I will be resizing this slightly and then posting this over on my social media websites. You can see the links over there. Twitter, Facebook. Facebook, yes, but I don't update that much. Twitter, DeviantArt, and Instagram. Check them out. And I think that's all the plugging for now. Plug, and I want to say we're done. So thanks again, guys. Once again, I am Dante. Like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you in the future.